Ken, just to follow up on that a little bit, we've talked about the importance of reliability at a relatively high level, but you represent a lot of large business and industry in New York State. Could you discuss a little bit just how important resource adequacy and reliability is to the folks that you work with?
I think for all businesses, just like all homes, power interruptions are inconvenience. But for some, it's crucial. If you're particularly in the high-tech field, some of these more advanced manufacturing technologies, an interruption in either the power supply or the quality of the power being delivered can be extremely costly. Sort of wipe out a production run. And we've heard from member companies who've had those issues even with our current grid and some of the constraints they're seeing. I think looking forward, you could envision, 20, 30 years from now, how this new green economy in New York State may look. But I think that transition raises a lot of concerns for companies who are here and looking to reinvest or expand, or companies looking to come to New York State. And this isn't just electric power. As we electrify buildings, the flip side of that is there's a vision that we're going to significantly contract our natural gas systems. So if you're doing business today in an industry where all your production technology is based on natural gas, and we know some sectors, there's no commercially available electric-based production in the world. And I'm looking to reinvest in a facility in New York State that with a 20-year lifespan. That's a reason of concern. Is New York State going to deliver to me or be able to promise to me that I'll get both the quality, quantity, and affordability of energy that I need? And I will say this, we have a diverse membership. I was meeting with one of my developer members out in Western New York. First time I heard a developer say explicitly, I lost this potential manufacturing facility in New York State because of their long-term concerns about the effect of CLCPA on energy supply and cost. Yeah. So I do think we're going to hear more of that as companies look at the practical aspects of what this is going to do to power supply, energy costs, and the other side, natural gas supply. We're going to hear more companies raising those concerns.
Yeah, and Joe, I would say, Ken's concerns are right. And if you think about a manufacturer, if we do this as a single state, there's no regional compact to do this, there's no federal law to do this, what kind of economic leakage might we have? So the cement plant that can't reinvest here, maybe goes to Pennsylvania, hasn't helped carbon emissions maybe globally, right? And so it's a zero-sum game, but New York loses the residents, the jobs, the tax base, and yet that manufacturer probably can still serve the local market by moving to an adjacent state. So if we don't do this regionally or even federally, I get really worried about New York's really aggressive push forward by itself and what it might do to businesses.
Or even worse, it could end up in a jurisdiction that's less carbon clean than New York State already is.
Right.
And I do think one of the few, major impacts we as a lobby organization had on the statute when it was going through in 2019 is some consideration, some explicit recognition of this potential of emission leakage. If we're only forcing economic activity outside of New York State into another state or another nation that is not as clean as New York State already is, there's certainly no global greenhouse gas emission reduction benefit. It's actually making things worse, and a net economic impact in New York State. So we think this issue of emission and economic leakage is very real, and it's gotten a little, I think, more than just a little attention in the CAC debates. There's a work group that we served on dealing with energy intense trade exposed industries, and it seems like however the Climate Action Council's final scoping plan comes out, it sounds like they're going to take a relatively light hand to heavy energy intense industry.
Goes back to Anthony's point, and I inferred it, is picking winners and losers. That economic development project is more important than a different economic development project. That is going to be a real problem for New York State, and it's going to be a problem for all of us around this table, but particularly business councils. How do you attract businesses when you don't know how you're going to be treated regulatorily? It's a big issue, and something that this scoping plan has a significant amount of very important terms that are undefined. That's one of them, trade exposure, energy intensive, fossil gas, hydrogen. None of this stuff is defined. So for me, that's very troubling.